ladies and gentlemen, folks of all ages, you know my next guest from Law & Order SUV and Better Call Saul. She now stars in the new CBS series Beyond the Gates. Please welcome Tamara Tunie. Oh, my goodness. Hi, so nice to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
People know and love you from Law & Order SUV.
SVU.
SVU? I never missed an episode. Soon they will love you for the new CBS
Listen, it
show.
took me 2 years to get it right. So,
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in Criminal Intent.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Law & Order Criminal Intent once.
Yes.
Yeah, I was the murderer.
Of course you were.
Yes.
I mean that in the best
Sure.
possible way.
I was a guy who lived in his mom's basement and killed people with lie bombs through the mail.
I would cast you as that.
When I asked, I met the writer and she goes, "Oh, I thought of you when I wrote it."
That's so disturbing.
Now they're going to know you in the new CBS show Beyond the Gates.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you started in theater.
I
yes?
did.
So here we are in a Broadway theater. What was your first experience in a Broadway theater?
My first Broadway show was with the legendary Lena Horne.
Oh.
And yes.
Pal Joey, Stormy
yes,
Weather.
so many things.
Yeah.
And I like to tell this story because it was at the beginning of my career. I just moved to New York City, and I had gotten a job doing a production of Kiss Me, Kate at a dinner theater in Connecticut, and it was fantastic, and I was so excited. And we rehearsed, we did tech, we opened the show, and the next morning after opening night, I woke up and my tonsils had abscessed, and I couldn't talk, I couldn't swallow, and I couldn't sing. I lost the job because I couldn't do it. So I came back to New York with my tail between my legs, and my survival job was office work because I learned to type in 7th grade. Pay attention in school, children. And I learned to type in 7th grade so I could do office work, and I happened to be working at an accounting firm over on 6th Avenue, and one of my coffee cooler mates just happened to be the son of Lena Horne's manager, and he told me that they were casting background singers for her show. And so I should talk to my agent about it. So long story short, I did, and I was cast in the show, and I was on the stage with the legendary Lena Horne when I was 22 years old. And it was an experience that really, it informed my career moving forward.
When you make it to Broadway for the first time, did your family all come? And
Yes, my family came. My teachers from school came, everyone came, but my mom came. And when my mother came, you tell the production manager, my mother's coming, can you get tickets? And they say, of course, Little did I know that when I walked out on stage, my mother was sitting front row center. And you don't want to see familiar faces in the front row, right? But at any rate, at intermission, I was walking past Lena's dressing room, and she always left her door open, And so as I was walking past, she said, Tunie. And I backed up. I was like, yes, Lena, come in here. I came in. I was like, yes. She was putting on her makeup and looking in the mirror. I was standing behind her, and she said, is that your mother in the front row? And I thought, oh Lord. I was like, yeah, Lena, that's my mom. And she said, well, she's just grinning at me and I'm just grinning at her and we're having a good time. I was like,
Fans of Law & Order SVU would want me to ask you this about playing medical examiner Melinda Warner. Is it true that you inspired people with that role to become forensic examiners?
absolutely.
Because I've never inspired anyone to be a forensic examiner.
I can't tell you how many times, people have approached me and said, I'm studying forensic medicine. And this is, when I say people, I mean Black women who are saying, I study forensic science because of your role on the show, or my daughter is studying forensic science, or my sister is studying forensic science. And that's the power of television. That's the power of what we do.
I would ask you whether, let's sort of working with sort of the prop bodies and the organs and everything would bother you, but I understand that you had an unusual prep for this?
I did. I happened to grow up in a funeral home. Both of my parents were morticians.
Sure.
And we lived, and it was like, I don't know if any of you watched 6 Feet Under, but literally we lived, above the funeral home. The funeral home was on the first floor and the morgue was in the basement, just like 6 Feet Under, but black.
And that didn't bother you as a kid or anything? It was fun?
Not at all, not at all. I mean, I was born into that environment, and by the time I reached my teenage years, I was actually helping in the funeral home. I would style hair or do a little makeup or something like that. So when I walked into the morgue of Law and Order SVU, nobody could tell me nothing.
Now you're starring in Beyond the Gates. It's the first soap opera that has, first new soap opera in 25 years.
Yes.
What does it mean for you to be part of this show?
The only show that would bring me back to daytime television was this show, and it is because it is historic in its existence. It is the first daytime drama where the central family is African American, and an African American family of affluence, power, generational wealth, beauty, talent, and it's breaking the color barrier. It's a glass ceiling show. It's a glass ceiling breaking show, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Did you watch these shows growing up?
Absolutely. I used to watch with my mom. Who didn't watch with their mom or their grandma, right? I used to watch with my mom back in the day. And then, when I came to New York, I was here 5 or 6 years and I landed a role on As the World Turns that I performed for 15 years. So I'm returning to daytime, which is fantastic. And I'm returning to my home network, CBS. So it's great to be back.
You're the glamorous matriarch of the family.
I am.
Which is a great role, but do you ever get jealous that you don't get to be the person who's like throwing cups and slapping your lover Roberto?
Roberto.
He'll be coming later in the season.
How did you know? No. And listen, it's a soap opera, so as pulled up and elegant as I am, there's always time for some mess. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy.
Well, I look forward to the mess. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
Beyond the Gates premieres Monday on CBS. Tamara Tunie, everybody. We'll be right back.